Hi, I'm David Lowen. Welcome to today's sales tip. Glad that you've joined us. Today we're going to talk about the Ben Franklin close. And this sales tip, like all our sales tips, are designed to help you sell more cars and hold on to more profit, make more money, and do it in a way that your buyer is excited about and, of course, you feel good about. Right now, listen, if you're on YouTube, you can hit subscribe and get all these. In fact, go back and look at previous versions. If you're one of our Excellence Roadmap subscribers, we're going to send this to you every Saturday. And in addition, on the roadmap, if you look under other topics, you can go back and look through all the previous sales tip posts. All right, so let's get going. The Ben Franklin close. Now, I know that a lot of you have heard of this before, right? It's been around for a long time. I've heard it in many different circles as I was traveling the country when I was 30 with the HAC group. So many top salesmen talked about it. Let me give you the summary. Let me talk about this modification we're talking about today. The Ben Franklin close is simply a pro and con list. Ben Franklin basically said if you're tossed up in a decision, put a line down the middle of a paper. On one side, put the pros, and one side, put the cons. And his thinking was this: if the pros outweigh the cons, then do it. That's called the Ben Franklin close. And for years, sales consultants and managers have been using that to reduce buyers' fear so they can feel comfortable saying, you know what, you're right, I'll take it. It's one way to visually show the buyer you're making a great decision. You're going to love it. It's the right car. Feel free. Do it. You want to do it. Do it. It's a great decision, right? That's what this visual does. You draw a line on paper and you put, the pros like new warranty, better gas mileage, safer, whatever, more reliable, whatever you want to put on here, right? Con might be a higher payment, but when you weigh that higher payment to all these benefits, right? The pros will outweigh the cons, right? So this is a great way for you to communicate and consult with your buyer when you know that they want to do this, but there's something holding them back. Take them through this and let them see that the pros far outweigh the cons. They should go ahead and take action. Now listen, let me talk about this modified Ben Franklin close. So your buyer says, everything is great. You are great. The car is great. I just don't want to make a decision today, right? And I don't want to make this. I'm not sure if I want to do this, right? So the question that I would have for them, and this is a Ben Franklin close being used principally modified. I would say, I get it, and I want you to feel comfortable. When you're ready, I'm ready. But I know you love the car, and you know that I'm going to take great care of you, and you know that our service and our dealership's reputation is great. So we've got your back, right? And let me ask you this. What would be the downside of saying yes and getting this car you want today? What's the downside? And so if we ask them for the con in this way, a lot of times the buyers, well, there really isn't a downside. And that may help them feel comfortable going forward. Okay, so what am I trying to get into your head? The Ben Franklin close, the pro and the con. There's a physical way that we do this. We actually get a piece of paper out and walk our buyer through it. Or there's a modified principle way that we can use these same things. And as a matter of fact, during our Resell Reask, our negotiating training that we train in the Excellence Roadmap, when we go back to the car, we do our empathy and our logic, and we refocus and we go back to the vehicle. Isn't that what we're doing? We're making that pro list. You're getting the car you want. It's got the features you want. We talk about the joy. You're going to be able to, you said it was going to be great for those family vacation. We talk about the warranty. We talk about the gas mileage. We talk about the savings and the incentives, right? And so what are we doing? We're just laying those pros on before we reassure this is a great deal and re-ask. Isn't that a modified Ben Franklin? That's what I built into that. Okay, so I want you to see something, that these principles, we teach you these techniques, but what we really want you to do is think better and understand what you're doing. Because when you understand what you're doing, you'll do things better and you'll be able to apply the principle to the person in front of you. Maybe not the same technique, but use that principle to remove your buyer's fear. And listen, when your buyer no longer fears buying the wrong car, when they no longer fear paying too much, and when they feel like you've got their back, they say yes. Today's sales tip: use this Ben Franklin close, whether in a physical format or a modified principal format, to sell more cars and make more money this week, and do it in a way that your buyer feels great and you feel that healthy pride. Good selling.